The sacrifice performed by Daksha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7. Medha, Chitirala. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Story. Lord Shiva responds to Lord Brahma. After Lord Shiva's followers injured the other demigods, Lord Shiva himself shares his opinion on their offenses. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Father Brahma, I do not mind the offenses created by the demigods, because these demigods are childish and less intelligent. I do not take a serious view of their offenses, and I have punished them only in order to right them." Lord Shiva explains that he does not mind the wrongdoings done by the demigods, calling them childish and less intelligent. Instead, he provides solutions to their various injuries. For example, he says that Daksha will have the head of a goat, Pusa will eat through the teeth of his disciples, and Bhrigu will have a beard from a goat's head. However, those who have agreed to give him his share will recover from their injuries. Following Shiva's declaration, Bhrigu invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Daksha is brought back to life. Once Daksha returns to consciousness, he realizes his mistake and immediately asks for Lord Shiva's forgiveness. King Daksha said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you've done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices?" Text 13. After the execution of the sacrifice, Daksha's body was joined to the head of a goat. He was instantly cleansed, just as the water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. While he wanted to offer his prayers, but when he thought of his daughter Sati, and his eyes filled with tears instead, Daksha becomes self-realized and asks for Lord Shiva's forgiveness, while also vocalizing Shiva's greatness. King Daksha restarts the arena. During the performance of the sacrifice, Lord Vishnu appears in his original form as Narayana. The great sage Maitreya said to Vidura, "My dear Vidura, as soon as King Daksha offered the clarified butter with Yajur-Veda mantras and sanctified meditation, Lord Vishnu appeared there in his original form as Narayana." Text 18. King Daksha requests the permission of Lord Brahma to continue the sacrifice. In order to resume the yajna, they arrange to purify the arena from the followers of Lord Shiva. As soon as Daksha offers the clarified butter, Lord Vishnu appears as Narayana. He is described as follows. His complexion is blackish, his garment yellow like gold, and his helmet as dazzling as the sun. In the presence of Narayana, the demigods present immediately begin to offer the respectful obeisances. The members of the sacrifice pray to Lord Vishnu. The attendants of the sacrifice all offer their humble obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Daksha addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. "My dear Lord, you are transcendental to all speculative positions. You are completely spiritual, devoid of all fear, and you are always in control of the material energy. Even though you appear in the material energy, you are situated transcendentally. You are always free from material contamination because you are completely self-sufficient." The members of the assembly all explain Lord Vishnu's greatness, describing all of his admirable qualities. For instance, Lord Brahma says, "My dear Lord, your personality in eternal form cannot be understood by any person who is trying to know you through the different process of acquiring knowledge." The Lord addresses King Daksha. Lord Vishnu explains that there is no difference between him, Brahma, and Shiva. Just as the head and other parts of the body are not separate, Lord Vishnu replied, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and I are the supreme cause of the material manifestation. I am the Supersoul, the self-sufficient witness, but personally, there's no difference between Brahma, Lord Shiva, and me. As Daksha begins to arrange a sacrifice, Lord Vishnu expresses that he is the Supersoul of all living entities. However, he says that there is no difference between him, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva. He explains that one who understands this is the truth, actually realizes peace while others do not. Thus, Daksha is able to finish the sacrifice while giving Lord Shiva his share of the yajna. Then, worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he was completely situated on the religious path. Maitreya's conclusion of the story. Maitreya tells Vidura that he had heard the story from Uddhava, a great devotee and disciple of Brihaspati. The great sage Maitreya concluded, if one hears and again narrates with faith and devotion this story of Daksha Yajna, as it was conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, then certainly one is cleared of all contamination of material existence. O son of Guru. Maitreya explains that he hears that upon giving up her body, Sati is born again in the Himalayas and later accepts Lord Shiva as her husband. Then, Maitreya resolves the story by telling Vidura that he had heard the story of Daksha Yajna from Uddhava, a great devotee of Brihaspati, and that if anyone were to hear and narrate the story with faith and devotion, that a person would be certainly cleared of all contamination of material existence. The conclusion. In summary, this is what happens in the sacrifice performed by Daksha. Lord Shiva tells the demigods how to heal their various injuries. For instance, that Daksha will have the head of a goat, Gusa will eat through the teeth of his disciples, and Bhrigu will have a beard from a goat's head. Daksha is brought back to consciousness and immediately wants to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. However, he thinks about his daughter Sati, and his eyes filled with tears instead. Later, though, he becomes realized and asks for Lord Shiva's forgiveness. In order to resume the yajna, they arrange to purify the arena from the followers of Lord Shiva. As soon as Daksha offers the clarified butter, Lord Vishnu appears as Narayan. The attendants of the sacrifice all offer their humble obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For instance, Daksha. Even though you appear in the material energy, you are situated transcendentally. You are always free from the material contamination because you are completely self-sufficient. As Daksha begins to arrange the sacrifice, Lord Vishnu expresses that he is the supersoul of all living entities. However, he says that there is no difference between Brahma, Lord Shiva, and him. Then Maitreya resolves the story by saying that if anyone were to hear and narrate the story with faith and devotion, then that person would be certainly cleared of all contamination of material existence. The end.